Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons & Dragons, from frilled freaks to freeing your friends. And today we're talking about Fraz-urb'luu.
The Dungeoncast. Hey Brian.
Got him. Hey Will.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. What's up?
Today is the day I realized that we could have called this the year of the Demonlord.
Every fucking, like, we hit we're Demonlords all the way down.
It's true. It's Demonlords all the way to the bottom. All right. So today we're covering what is probably going to be the last Demonlord for this year. We'll see.
What?
I'm not.
It's so early in the year.
But we've covered so many.
We have covered so many.
Frazurbluu.
Frazurbluu.
He's got a weird name. He's kind of a weird guy. So let's get into it.
They're all weird.
Yeah, they're all weird. But this guy...
Let's open a rift to the abyss.
I ended up liking this guy more than I thought I would. Let's just get into it. So,
okay.
Frazurbluu is one of the major Demonlords in Dungeons & Dragons. He is one of the original Demonlords in both the canon of the game itself and in the source materials of the game as well, dating back to 1st edition and created by Gary Gygax himself.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Gary. Frazurbluu was actually created specifically for the campaign Gygax ran for his brother and his friend in the original campaign that birthed the setting of Greyhawk.
So this is post-chainmail, right?
D&D.
Oh, this is chainmail.
This is I'm not
somewhere
sure.
in between.
Somewhere in between. That's my guess. I could
Maybe
be
this
wrong
is
here.
like the workshop of,
or this could have been in D&D. No, I think this is pre D&D. This has to be because I'm pretty sure Frazurbluu is in the original Monster Manual.
Okay, cool.
So pre D&D. Let's do this.
Whoa.
Frazurbluu is known as the Prince of Deception and the Demonlord of Illusions. Okay. He is infamous for using every trick, every ounce of demonic cunning to manipulate his enemies, mortal and fiend alike, to do his will.
Cool.
Frazurbluu creates dreamlands and mind-bending fantasies able to deceive even the most discerning foes. And though he has fallen far from the power he once held, it is said that once he was the uncontested and most powerful Demonlord in the Abyss.
Whoa.
Another notable fact about the Prince of Deception is that unlike most other Demonlords who view humanity with little to no consideration, or even Grost, who sees humanity as extremely valuable allies and servants, Frazurbluu absolutely despises all humans, and his all-consuming goal is to see them and the material plane completely decimated.
Shit, so he was the most powerful Demonlord at one
There
point.
was a time he was the most powerful, and we will talk about it.
Sick.
Because, well, it's interesting. But just a little bit on that last point to reiterate.
Like hating all the humans a lot?
He hates humans. Like, most Demonlords don't give a shit about humans. Humans are, like, not even on the radar for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, they're...
Even though the cultists and stuff. And
only Grost is the only one who's, like, super, like, thinks... He recognizes humanity for how useful and powerful they can be.
Okay, sure. Most like the high end of humanity's got it.
Exactly. And that's why Frazurbluu, it's why Grost has a billion cambions, because he knows like mating with mortals like creates powerful allies.
Sure.
Wow.
And this is specifically for Frazurbluu is humans? Or just
humans
like,
specifically.
And not humanoids.
Not just humanoids, humans.
Okay, cool.
Very specifically.
Interesting.
So there seems to be some discrepancy in how Frazurbluu is depicted.
Okay.
But generally speaking, he's described as a 12 to 18 foot tall, hulking gargoyle-like menace.
Okay.
His muscular, gorilla-like body is covered with short, coarse hair of a pale blue hue. His feet are broad and splayed, and his hands are large, but the fingers relatively stubby and tipped with long, jagged talons. 2 great ebony bat-like wings protrude from his back, and his tail is long and hairless, with a gray base fading to a razor-sharp blue tip.
So this is like...
Big gargoyle man. Yeah,
this is like your fucking... Like Batman is on the fucking skyscraper and he's hiding behind like a
I will say this. Every edition's depiction of Frazurbluu up until 5e, he looks like this hulking buff monster man. He does not look like a Demonlord of Deceptions and Illusion.
A hulking buff monster man.
He looks like the Demonlord of Muscles and Gains. That's what he looks like. I'm not even fucking kidding.
He looks like the Demonlord of pre-workout and protein powder.
Exactly. That's exactly what he looks like.
That's cool.
But this 5e has redone his art and he looks really, really cool. Really strange. He still has that gargoyle-ish kind of shape to him.
Gargoyle from the show Gargoyles from the 1990s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's still very gargoyle-like, but he's also... The proportions are all off and a little bit weird. And at the end of his like long, thick neck that he has, he almost has this human-like face with this weird kind of smile.
Okay, sure.
And
That's
the
creepy.
smile is almost like this friendly smile, and I think that's supposed to be deceptive. Let me finish reading my description paragraph.
Yeah.
But yeah, so his head is bald and gray skinned, save for tufts of ragged hair hanging from his jowls. Long and ragged ears protrude from the center of his skull to well above its pointed, rigid peak. His eyes are relatively small, but burn with a cold blue light. Yet the most terrible aspect of his visage is his mouth, which is overly large and filled with huge fangs, often displayed in a bizarre smile. He can assume other forms, however, from the hideous to the beautiful. Often, the Demonlord becomes so immersed in his role-playing that he actually loses himself in whatever role he's playing for a time.
That is terrifying.
His lies are so extreme that even he can kind of fall for them.
His illusions are so good that that's how you beat the truth. Is like you believe
That's
the lie.
not what I expected you to say.
believe the lie so hard that it becomes the truth.
There we go, yeah.
It's not the truth though.
So, for countless eons, Fraz-urb'luu, Prince of Deception, reigns supreme as the lord of the abyssal realm known as Hollow's Heart.
Hollow's Heart.
The demonomicon of the witch queen Igwilv, records him as one of the primal lords of the abyss, one of the first demons to rise to dominance. This claim might or might not be true, but images of this demon prince have been found in ruins so ancient that no books remain that speak of their builders.
Okay.
His sect is one of the oldest known demon cults. Though never inherently was Fraz-urb'luu the most powerful of demon lords, his terrible magic staff allowed him to command immense armies of demons and other hateful creatures and served as the key of his absolute mastery over his lair of the abyss. At the height of his power, Fraz-urb'luu could raise mountain ranges in a matter of seconds or drain bottomless seas with but a thought. Such godlike power bred incredible arrogance, and soon, mighty Fraz-urb'luu mastered the art of even summoning his fellow demon princes to his court, where he humiliated them before a chattering audience of sycophants.
Oh.
Yet even eternity can be finite. Instead of assailing him in the impregnable fortress that is Hollow's Heart, Fraz-urb'luu's rivals indirectly aided one of the demon's enemies, an archmage named Zagig Rargurn. We'll just call him Zaggy for now. Was
Zaggy.
gifted an arcane artifact known as the Ichor Lance by the rivals of the Prince of Deception.
Okay.
And Zagig dared to summon Fraz-urb'luu to the material plane. In his arrogance, when summoned, Fraz-urb'luu viewed it as little more than an opportunity to spend a few weeks in the mortal realm, savaging and ruining a few unexpected nations.
Okay.
Yet when the demon prince manifested in Zagig's great summoning chamber, the wizard confronted the demon with the Ichor Lance in an attempt to carve away a portion of his fiendish essence.
Okay.
When Zagig tried to use the artifact on him, though, Fraz-urb'luu took it in his hands and disjoined the artifact's power and just snapped it.
He was like, "What's that?
Bitch.
Swoop?
Yeah.
It's mine now."
Yet, something went wrong.
Uh-oh.
As the artifact's magic was torn away and ruined, Fraz-urb'luu felt the same force rebounding into his own being. In an instant, his powers were stripped away from him, and Zagig's true purpose became clear.
Oh.
The Ichor Lance was simply bait. And now that Fraz-urb'luu had taken it, Zagig had no problem using his magic to imprison the demon Prince of Deception in a massive stone bas-relief deep within the dungeons below Castle Greyhawk.
Damn, he's like, "You're too busy with your own lies that you didn't see mine."
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly it. For more than 200 years, Fraz-urb'luu remained imprisoned there. His only entertainment were the few thieves, intruders, and explorers who stumbled into his presence. For Zagig had given Fraz-urb'luu leave to riddle and torment those unfortunate enough to encounter him.
Yeah, dude. Can you imagine going to jail and like you're housed across from like a fucking demon lord?
Yeah,
he's just gonna talk you into like insanity or whatever.
Right. Well, he's trapped in a stone like statue, but still.
Oh, like he couldn't move or anything?
No. His spirit was like sealed in like a bas relief.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, deep
So he
under the
had, like,
castle.
So he just like
he couldn't move.
His
He was just
entertainment was
stuck.
like watching people go to jail.
Not even going to jail. This is like he's deep in like a dungeon under a castle.
Yeah.
Where like I get
it. Like adventurers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
exactly. Yes, that. So.
No.
Yeah. Yet the dungeons beneath Castle Greyhawk are vast, and as the years wore on, Fraz-urb'luu's visitors became less frequent.
Okay.
Eventually, he was left alone with nothing but his festering and broiling anger. For hundreds of years, his rage grew until a fateful day when two adventurers, Gary Gygax's brother and his friend, came upon a curious bas-relief deep underground and unwittingly followed its advice, setting Frazurbluu free and beginning his all-consuming mission to rebuild his domain, find his staff, and wage war on the material plane until it is not but a smoking husk.
Damn, that must have been fucked up when Fraz-urb'luu saw the last adventurers find the mythic sword that was down there with him. It was like, fuck, they found the last of the treasure.
Now no one will come down here.
I'm not even gonna see anything. No.
Oh man, that's how I imagined it happened.
He's like, Gary? Is that
Is that you, Gary? It's been years.
I like how the lore of this guy is like, oh, he was like the first one to be super powerful. That's like tied into like being pre-D&D a little bit. Like
it is. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
It is interesting. Let's take a short rest.
Okay. Hey everybody, this week's Short Rest is brought to you by Wretches and Rewards Kickstarter. Wretches and Rewards is a 5th edition supplement of monster encounters perfectly paired with memorable loot.
They're putting together 6 modules that are focused around collecting very specific magic items. Each module has a different theme and terrain so that there should be something that can be plugged into most long-term campaigns. All 6 modules will all be placed into a single hardcover book.
And all those modules come with a double-sided map that's playable. So you're going to get 6 double-sided maps in total. The modules themselves will have a separate DM map within the book, labeled with descriptions, for easy explanations of what the characters encounter.
These magic items will play a huge part in the development of the modules and will be crucial to how the encounters are played.
Their goal is to reduce the clunky gameplay of roll tables and build up a more immersive experience around the items players find.
The encounters themselves will be focused on strategic play that will force characters to make choices that will affect what the final magic item can do should they acquire it.
So stretch goals for Wretches and Rewards are going to be printed magic cards, new stories, and even a 3D printable STL file of their monsters. So that sounds pretty cool.
I would say so.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you go check out Wretches and Rewards. There's a link in the description below. Go support that Kickstarter. Get them going. Get them the funding they need and require. And thank you for sponsoring our short rest.
Indeed.
All right, everybody. We're talking about people we love right now.
We are.
Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you so much for listening to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely.
Thanks for telling me about talking about the show. Telling people about the show.
Sharing the show.
There's some specific people that we want to thank, and they're people that have come into our Patreon. Big changes on the Patreon. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening there.
A lot of stuff happening there. We're restructuring some things. We finally figured out like our merch thing. We were talking about it a while back.
We were.
Don't worry about it. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to be positive for us and hopefully for you guys too. So I want to thank these people that have come in to support us. Thank you, Spencer Darby.
Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you, Caleb Hamilton.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you, Johnny Hausiano.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Aiden Dune.
Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you, James Biam.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, Micah.
Thank you, Micah.
Thank you, Richard Boothby Young.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Travis S.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Javelina's Game Closet.
Thank you, Javelina's Game Closet.
Thank you, Keith Nelkin.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Jay Jenkinson.
Thank you, J.
Just the letter J and then Jenkinson.
Thank you, Jenkinson.
Thank you, Christopher Ray.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Paul Laydenslayer.
Thank you, Paul.
Laudenslayer? Laudenslayer.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, why not? Thank you, Zach Smith.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Brad Durfee.
Thank you, Brad Durfee.
Thank you, Kirkus Hera.
Thank you, Kirkus.
Let's see here. Thank you, Manuel Fleischer. Manuel Fleischer.
Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you, Garrett Enriquez.
Was it Garrett?
Garrett Enriquez.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you, Legio X.
Thank you, Legio X.
It could be Legio. It's Legio. Legio X. Whatever you thought was the coolest thing we just said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ewan Robinson.
Thank you, Ewan.
And thanks again, Micah.
Thank you, Micah, again.
Again. So thanks, guys. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now.
There is.
So to have your financial support, it means the world to us.
Yeah.
It really does. Especially in light of all this. We're like infinitely grateful anyway, but like, to see you guys coming out to support us in this way has really kind of touched me specifically in my heart place.
Indeed.
So yeah, thanks a lot. Me and Will work really hard on the show.
We do.
So to see people backing it and listening and loving it, it's been really good.
It's been fantastic.
So I hope you guys are all staying safe and being responsible. If anybody's got to jump from Patreon, we see people like, sorry, we gotta go. Dude, don't worry about it. Good. We really appreciate you even like thinking about us at all. Absolutely. So like, hey,
and hope the show's helping in these stay-at-home times.
So yeah, thanks so much. Do you have anything else to add, Will?
No, let's get back to the show.
Catch us in the long rest. Let's get back to the show. We've returned.
Indeed we have.
Shit, we're back.
Talking about Fraz-urb'luu.
More demon shit.
I suppose his name could be Frazurbluu.
Frazurbluu.
But to use, that's usually an ooh sound, right?
I would think that's like, why would you add the other one?
Yeah.
Why would you put use there? There's a lot of
there's also a hyphen and an apostrophe in his name.
Hey, look, it's all made up, baby.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk about his personality.
Sure.
Personality-wise, Fraz-urb'luu is a bit of an enigma, though it was said that at the height of his power, the Demonlord was arrogant, braggartly, cruel, and imperious. Now the Demonlord is more known for his subtlety and manipulation when dealing with others. He lies as easy as he breathes, and his lies are always convenient and enticing things that lure both suspecting and unsuspecting victims under his influence.
Okay.
Often, he presents himself as some benefactor or benevolent entity to his target, whether through changing his form and taking on the illusory persona of an entity, being, or mortal with good intentions, or as himself with his false smile and sweet words.
So this is a scary Demonlord.
Yes.
Like, if the material plane especially.
If he's talking to you, you are in danger.
Yeah, you're going to be sweet-talked into oblivion of some kind, I'm sure?
No, just being sweet-talked into doing whatever he wants, thinking like he's there to help.
Like, you might be the domino he pushes over to do other stuff.
Right, that's exactly right. So either way, all said and done, Frazurbluu.
It's hard to say.
Yes, it is.
Frazurbluu.
All said and done by Frazurbluu are falsehoods woven and hidden behind more falsehoods so thoroughly that none but he knows their true intentions.
What? Say it again.
So when all is said and done, all that is said and done by Frazurbluu are falsehoods.
Okay, yeah.
That are woven and hidden behind even more falsehoods so thoroughly that none but he knows their true intentions.
It's a Minotaur's labyrinth of lies.
Indeed, yes.
Okay.
So it is said that at times his illusion and lies are so convincing that even he can lose himself temporarily in his performance. Regardless of this, one thing is certain. In the end, the lies of Frazurbluu spell the doom for all who heed them.
Hell yeah.
So, enigmatic or not, behind his masks and lies, a seething anger burns in the heart of the Demonlord of Illusion. Frazurbluu dreams of a war against the material plane, whereas most of the other Demonlords see humanity as a fertile field in which to plant seeds of cruelty, hatred, and perversion to mature into souls ripe for the plucking. Frazurbluu sees only an insult to his powerful ego. As long as even one human being lives, he cannot release the powerful rage Zaga gifted to him. And so Frazurbluu plans a crusade of red ruin. In his dream, he sees himself leading an army of demons, undead, and other monstrosities against the whole of humanity, a war he has no intention of ending until all that remains of the material plane is dust.
So this dude Zaggy was a human guy, right?
Yeah, he was a human.
And so that's why he loathes the humans, because he got duped by humans.
Exactly.
And he got trapped in a statue. So Zaggy dead?
I think Zaggy's dead by this point. I'm not super familiar with my Greyhawk lore, but I'm sure this is like 200 or 300 years past.
Because if you get trapped in a statue in a dungeon for like a few hundred years, then the human that put you there is
probably dead, maybe.
Yeah, because he was of age to put you in a statue at that point.
For all I know, Zaggy's going to get his own episode. I don't know if he's prominent enough for that, but it could happen.
It could happen.
We could do a Zaggy episode.
We could do a Zaggy. That would be cool. Like it'd be like a 101 on how to put a Demonlord in a statue.
I guess so, cool. Yeah. Sure.
How do you lie to a big liar?
Right.
He gets caught up in his own shit too much. Okay.
So another goal of Frazurbluu is that he also seeks to restore his infamous staff, which after his entrapment was fought over by his rivals. During the ensuing fight, the staff itself was shattered into 5 parts and scattered across the cosmos.
Isn't that like the ruby rod a little bit?
No, I think you're talking about the rod of 7 parts.
There's a rod of 7 parts, but like Asmo had a ruby rod.
He has a ruby rod.
He has it still.
That's his deal.
Well, I guess your campaign could be.
You might be talking about the Seed of Evil from 4th edition, which Asmo broke a shard off of, and that's why the demons and devils are fighting.
Okay,
he has one in his rod, and
I think I'm piecing together a bunch of different stuff that is like similar to this, like the rod of 7 parts, or like the piece of blah blah blah. Yeah.
So this is it's broken into 5 parts. It's a staff, not a rod.
It's a MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin. Yes, exactly.
And if you get it, you fucking do cool shit or whatever. For the cutscene.
Like it basically has reality altering powers, and that's why he was so powerful. It's like the staff allowed him to do anything in reality as long as he was on his own layer of the abyss. So
cool.
Thus, he was the most powerful demon lord.
So, are you like super familiar with the way illusion magic goes in the game? Like,
I guess, yeah.
I always like make a wisdom saving throw sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you see through it, like almost like in Naruto with the genjutsu, where they're like, they realize it's an illusion, and then once they do, they can do something to break the illusion.
Yeah.
But until they have to know both, they have to know they're in the illusion and do something to break it.
So
sometimes you only need the first thing, I guess.
So depending on the spell, I generally will treat like the DC for an illusion spell of, since it's a wisdom save, if you hit it, it means you realize it's an illusion, and thus the illusion has no power over you. I think there are illusion spells though where like that doesn't work. You'll realize it's not an illusion, but you'll still feel the effects of the illusion. But now that you know it's not an illusion, like you can act with free will, because some illusion spells will like cause you to act against how you would normally act. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like the illusion is making you believe something that is making you act in like a flight or fight. Right.
But like something interesting to touch on is like the in 1408, which is a Stephen King short story originally.
Oh, is that the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
That has Samuel. The movie one has what, Cusack or whatever. Yeah, and Sam. And in the book though, he gets like, there's a entity. Spoilers for 1408. There's an entity in the room. That is putting him under the illusion of the room. And it wants to eat him, I think, or something at the end.
Well, it wants him to kill himself.
It wants him to kill himself so he can like
have his soul.
So it's something like that, where this is like some creature from the beyond, from the far realm or something. Yeah. And it's basically,
you don't need to understand it.
He ends up lighting his shirt on fire in like a haze. He's like, he finds matches in his pocket. He's like from the hotel, and he's like, oh, and he lights his shirt on fire. He's like, I'll just kill myself then rather than be eaten if that's what it wants. So I don't have to deal with it. And it breaks the illusion, like the pain of it. It like snaps him out of it, and he's able to break out of the room because he starts a fire. Yeah. It's like, that would be cool. Like, can you like stab yourself in the leg to kind of
you could definitely flavor stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool idea.
This is some cool, like, illusion magic is kind of ambiguous in the game, I feel like.
There's plenty of things that don't get explained all the way down to its minutia, and I think it's better that way because it lets us do that, which as dungeon masters and players even, like, that's our job. Like, we're in here trying to play in Imagination Land, so let's play.
Okay, I felt like that would be a good topic to touch on, like, since this is this whole guy's thing.
Yeah, it really is. So Fraz-urb'luu rules over the 176th layer of the abyss, commonly called Hollow's Heart. Before
cool
his
name.
What?
Oh, cool name.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it is. It also reminds me of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But anyways, before his imprisonment below Castle Greyhawk, Fraz-urb'luu was content to dwell in his personally tailored realm, which was said to be a veritable paradise. The Prince of Deception and his infamous Staff of Power had complete control over his abyssal domain and could reform its appearance with only a thought. The ability to cause mountains to sink into oceans, to cause chasms to swallow entire cities, and to call up massive guardians of stone and lava made his lair an impossible place for his enemies to assault. Fraz-urb'luu knew this, and as a result, only rarely ventured out of his domain. Instead, he was content to spend his time tormenting his minions and the legions of prisoners they brought before him in hopeful attempts to curry his momentary favor.
Bummer.
Or deceiving rival demon lords and ladies into appearing in his court and taking from them what he desired, usually entertainment in the form of humiliation, but also sometimes partaking in more gluttonous or carnal amusements. So, he's evil. He's evil.
He's definitely evil, and he's hitting up other evil people to do evil stuff to them.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You never really hear about this happening.
Well, because, like, you walk into his mindscape pretty much.
Yeah,
so,
and you're
like,
fucked. It doesn't matter how powerful you are because, like, he is unto a god here.
And this is like the old. Is this the current stuff?
No, this is the old times? Old Hollow's Heart.
Yeah, so don't fuck with the Fraz back in the day.
No, certainly not. But after the Prince of Deception became trapped away from his domain, his enemies descended upon his realm in terrible, endless waves of devastation. Without their master, the denizens were unable to rely on the realm's mutability, and they were slaughtered completely.
Oh shit!
Not long after, the domain itself collapsed. Mountains withered away, seas filled with gravel, forests burned to the ground, and deserts blew away on the Netherwind.
And that's when you found out that the only thing remaining at the end of it was just his home gym.
Right. He got so fucking swole.
He was getting so swole. He's like, if I'm buff in the body and the mind, they'll never defeat me.
So all that remained was an endless white plain of powdery sand under an empty black sky.
And some dumbbells.
Since Frazurblуу's return, he has spent the better part of his time rebuilding his realm and his body.
Got a Nordic track. Sorry, I'm done.
Here and there, pockets of terrain have appeared where minor and unique demons have laid claims and learned on a smaller scale to mold the terrain to their will.
Okay.
Frazurbluu has routed and ruined most of these demonic squatters and has slowly been reshaping things to his liking.
Bummer.
Yet without his staff, the task is arduous and lengthy. In addition, Frazurbluu must constantly defend his realm from demonic incursions, as the other Demonlords have not forgotten their hatred of the Prince of Deception.
Totally.
So far, none have managed to force him from his home, although Grozd, Demogorgon, and others have come close to...
Shout out to Demogorgon.
Come close before Frazurbluu managed to repulse their armies from his realm. The process of rebuilding is, as a result, slow and painful. Backslides are all too frequent, and with each one, he is reminded of his imprisonment and the theft and destruction of his staff.
He's got PTSD.
He does. Despite the hardships, he continues to make progress. The terrain of his realm grows daily, as do the ranks of his subjects of demon slaves and thralls.
I kind of want to feel bad for him because he's like trying to fix his traumatic stress disorder.
He's just trying so hard, but it's like,
he's
no,
so
dude,
fucking evil.
You were so evil.
So
you're so evil that all the other Demonlords think you're a dick.
So there are squatter demons, like lesser demons that can
that came here.
Like, I am the Mindscape, and then Fraz comes in and wrecks their shop.
Yes,
but then okay, so if my boy Demogorgon comes in and gets in there in an incursion, is he able to kind of manipulate the Mindscape too?
No, because it's not his realm. He'd have to spend some time there.
So this is like a demon that lives in the realm for a little while. It's like, ooh, I can kind of like set my mind seeds into the...
So from all my reading, I'm under the impression that the Abyss is very mutable to the entities of power that dwell there.
Sure.
So like...
It's malleable in a way.
I'm pretty sure that like Orcus's realm is like a super undead graveyard because he made it that way, not because it was always that way and he came here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that is just a part of being a Demonlord. So Fraz-urb'luu turned that to 100 with his super staff of reality.
Totally. So the Abyss shits out a layer. And then
exactly.
Fraz goes in there and lifts his mind weights and his physical weights and imposes his will on the land.
Yeah,
and
that's what he's doing.
It just
he's basically trying to take his abyssal layer from 0 and build it all the way back up.
Yeah, by being evil inside of it.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
And never leaving.
Right.
So Frazurbluu himself dwells in Zorag-Malak, a sprawling, roughly circular city of corkscrew towers, twisted domes, and vast amphitheaters.
Okay,
the city,
cool.
Yeah, the city appears empty save for the demon prince and his succubi consorts. But beneath the cloak of illusion, tens of thousands of petitioners live out their afterlives in their dreams, surrounded by friends and loving families for the rest of eternity.
The infinite Suki no Mi or whatever. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I should know, but it's not quite ringing the bell.
Tsukiyomi or Tsukinomi?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I'm very close to finishing Naruto.
Okay.
Spoilers for Naruto.
Oh, yeah. It's very much like that, actually. Yeah. Where was I? But slowly the Prince of Deception peels away these comforts one by one until the shuddering human souls are nothing more than feeble shells of doubt and self-pity.
So a more easier to relate to. They're in the Matrix in there?
Yeah, they're in the Matrix in there. Except for he's slowly turning it into their own personal hell.
Oh my God. So they're living their dreams and then slowly things are starting to go bad.
Exactly.
Your bike tire pops while you're on a fucking a long 100-mile trek and you're like, fuck, well, at least I brought my fucking inflatable replacement and you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you get attacked by wolves.
Yeah. That's a big jump, but yes.
They eat all your beef jerky, but you're okay.
But you're fine. So these are the deceived. Humans sacrificed in Frazurblуу's name by his wicked cult, and their final betrayal is among the few things that temporarily sate the Demon Prince's wrath over his humiliation at the hands of humanity.
That's right.
The immense razor-hooked adamantine walls of Zorag-Malak are festooned with the twitching near corpses of countless human bodies, tended by a small army of harpy clerics who flap from body to body, attempting to keep them alive just long enough to prolong their suffering in their dreams.
It's just like in the Matrix when Neo wakes up and he's in the fucking battery tower or whatever, and there's little robots scaling the fucking thing.
Yep.
Except their harpies are like,
yes, exactly.
Get back in your dream.
Exactly, your hell dream. So.
Oh wow!
That's a really good analogy.
Walls.
Oh yeah, he ain't fucking around no more. He's like, I didn't dream these walls up. I built them.
You have to harvest
with these muscles.
I had to lift weights so I could go get all this adamantine.
And guess what? Adamantine can't be broken, so it doesn't matter if you come in here. You're never undoing this.
So what does it look like? Is it one big sheet or is it a bunch of bricks?
I always picture it as one big sheet whenever I picture adamantine, but I don't know.
Damn, he had to like go under he had to lift so good that he could like squat press the crust of the material plane up to harvest it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
So Frazurbluu counts no other Demonlord as an ally. Most still remember and resent the days eons past when Frazurbluu was a name to fear. Furthermore, his ability to deceive them and trick them makes him a particularly hated Demonlord among his peers. Like, it's one thing for him to be able to illusorily deceive, your mortals or your average demon, but the fact that he's so good at it, it affects Demonlords who aren't used to being affected by anything.
Yeah, and himself.
Leaves a real bad taste in their mouths. So they're
yeah.
super not fans of it. Frazurbluu prefers minions that play to his strengths of deception and seduction and treachery. Succubi are one of his favorite tools. He also commands a large number of chaotic evil Rakshasas known as the Hollow Rajas. Ooh. Now, we're not going to talk too much about them. Actually, we're not going to talk about them at all after this because the Rakshasas are going to get their own episode. And they're a very particular kind of fiend.
Right.
They're not very much like demons at all. And they're really interesting.
Critical Role spoilers. Every time we talk about Rakshasas,
I
really? Bring it up that there was one.
Interesting.
That was like tailing a dude for a long time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you kill him and they like send him back to fucking hell or the abyss or whatever, and then they fucking find a way back because they just spawned again. But
they're immortal.
You delayed him because it's hard to get out of the abyss.
Right, it is. They're not from the abyss, but yes.
Well, wherever they're from, yeah.
I think they're from, I want to say Gehenna, but I'm not sure.
They're going to get their own episode.
Exactly. So Frazurbluu's
The Fraz-man.
Fraz-man.
It's like the Fonz, but he's the Franz.
The Fraz.
Yeah, he's got a leather jacket with cut sleeves.
So the Fraz's cults are known as the Colts of Deception. A typical cult consists of a dozen or so members, most of which have at least a few levels of cleric in them, posing as benign sects of obscure deities, using deception, illusions, enchantment, and other forms of trickery. These cultists operate small shrines located in rural areas and outwardly often do a lot of good for their communities that otherwise don't have access to like powerful healing and stuff.
You can make one inside like the main city that's like a Gold's Gym.
You could do that.
Come work out. They've got a lot of hidden fees in their contract
when
you sign up.
They certainly do. It's fucking true. As a general rule, a cult of deception won't charge money for their spellcasting services, since the lesser cults who siphon money and other resources from the guilds and governments fund them.
Okay.
These cultists seduce and trick people into joining their ranks and offering their unknown worship to Frazurbluu. These poor folk are doomed the moment they join the cult, for eventually they are sacrificed or goaded into sacrificing themselves. These poor deluded souls inevitably find themselves the eternal prisoners of Frazurbluu.
Damn, they fucking get you into their nonprofit, and then like 2 weeks in, when you're fucking just getting really into it, they hand you a dagger.
Yeah.
So do it. Do it, coward.
Usually, what they end up doing is like they will gaslight a motherfucker to like making him think he's the chosen one and he's blah 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 blah, and like somehow if only he sacrifices himself, it'll save millions of lives. And of course, they're a good person, so they do it, and now they're in hell.
Woo!
Many of the servants of Frazurbluu, even outside of full-blown cults, aren't even aware they serve the Prince of Deception, believing their master is a beneficent being and grantor of wishes, some lost god or celestial, or even another fiend. Like, it's not even that he's a good person, it's just that he's not Frazurbluu.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah. Frazurbluu wears all these masks and more. He particularly delights in aiding demon hunters against his demonic adversaries, driving the hunters to greater and greater atrocities in the name of their cause, only to eventually reveal his true nature and claim their souls as his own.
Damn, so he's just like,
he loves fucking with people.
I'm fucking like hanging out with Van Helsing, telling him to do my dirty shit, and then when the time comes and he becomes too powerful, I fucking cut his legs out from under him.
Well, kind of. It's more along the lines of like, I slowly make him compromise upon his morals until he realizes he's not chaotic good anymore.
Well, he's
chaotic evil.
Aren't devils kind of into that sort of thing
They
too?
love doing that, yeah. Well, demons do too.
Will you away.
Yeah, demons do it in a more like magical kind of like magical evil corruption way, while devils will like make you do it yourself.
Yeah, they're like,
which is way more malicious in a way. It's like, no,
so.
I'm changing you fundamentally and you did it by choice.
Yeah, you made a decision. Yeah. I'm like tricking you into doing it. Yeah. The devil is okay, this is okay. Yeah. I got it.
So let's go over, do you want to go over the regional effects or the madness effects first?
I have an idea.
Yes.
For when we pull out the stat blocks. Do you want me to read them?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm totally down with that. Just why? I'm curious.
I don't know. You're doing a lot of talking.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you want to go over this shit? Let's hear.
Take a
break. Yeah, you tell me about Fraz-urb'luu's regional effects and madness.
Okay, so we'll talk about regional effects. The region containing Fraz-urb'luu's lair is warped by his magic, creating one or more of the following effects. Intelligent creatures within 1 mile of the lair frequently see hallucinations of long dead friends and comrades that vanish after only a brief glimpse.
Nice. So he's got illusions going 24/7.
Cool. So next,
and they're hand-tailored illusions as well.
Yeah. Cool. Next up is roads and paths within 6 miles of the lair twist and turn back on themselves, making navigation in the area exceedingly difficult.
Nice. Can't take down a city if you can't find a city.
you can't get in here if you can't get in here, right?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. The last effect is just going to be the madness, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if a humanoid spends at least an hour within 1 mile of the lair, the creature must
succeed a DC. If you can't get in here, that's too fucking funny.
DC 23 wisdom. Those are the demons you meet along the road. He's like, I don't know, man. Left or right? You can only make it if you can make it, right? I don't know where it is. You don't know. Okay,
that's hilarious.
So the wisdom saving throw, you have to DC 23 wisdom save or descend into madness, determined by the madness of Fraz-urb'luu table. A creature that succeeds on the saving throw can't be affected by the region again until 24 hours passes.
Right.
It says if Frazurbluu dies, these effects fade over the course of 1d10 days.
Yeah.
So
that's the same for all Demonlords.
So if Frazurbluu dies, does that mean like permadeath?
Well, it depends. So if you kill him on the material plane, he just goes back to the abyss.
But if you kill him there,
on his home plane, he will die.
He'll die. Okay, he'll be absorbed by the energies of the abyss or some shit, however that works. So here is the madness of Fraz-urb'luu table.
Should be 5 different effects.
Yeah, you roll a d100. So between 1 and 20, yeah, here we go. Quote, I never let anyone know the truth about my actions or intentions, even if doing so would be beneficial to me.
You're pathological.
I'm gonna lie anyway. 21 through 40. I have intermittent hallucinations and fits of catatonia.
Okay.
So you're freaking out. Yeah. Randomly.
You kind of have epilepsy, kind of? Is that how that works?
Intermittent hallucinations or fits of catatonia. So you're basically like
epileptic psychosis.
Yeah, I mean, like you're useless pretty much for like the time being.
Yes, you're shut down for a bit.
Like intermittent, I guess you have to just role play it. Like, do you want to spend 5 minutes freaking out?
Yeah,
it's up to you, but you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
41 through 60. My mind wanders as I have elaborate fantasies that have no bearing on reality. When I return my focus to the world, I have a hard time remembering that it was just a daydream. So you think that shit was for real?
Wow.
So you're thinking about like...
That's debilitating.
Ooh, yikes. Who knows what you're thinking about? I don't want to talk about it. 61 through 80. I convince myself that things are true, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Okay, you become very hard to deal with.
Yes, indeed.
81 through 100.
Especially on Twitter. Sorry, go ahead.
Damn, well. Okay, my perception of reality doesn't match anyone else's. It makes me prone to violent delusions that make no sense to anyone else. And what I immediately thought of when I read that was the weather. I don't know why.
What?
Like it's hot as fuck. Are you guys hot? Is it hot in here?
Oh, wow.
Like, what the hell?
I can see that. Yeah.
Or like, I'm really hungry. We just ate, bro. What? No?
Oh, my gosh.
Wait, we did, right? No, I'm so hungry though.
That's some.
Did I get my portion?
That's like, some good role play. I like that.
There's some good shit here for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all right. So after that is layer effects. Should be next page.
Next page.
I
layer
think
effects.
I set you up over there.
You did. I'm real good, even though it was impromptu.
Yes.
I meant to ask you about that before we started.
No, I'm down, and like it's cool.
I thought about it because I'm like, damn, Will has to talk about all this shit and then read this. I could just read the stat block. Okay, so Fraz-urb'luu's lair lies within the abyssal realm of Hollow's Heart, a featureless plain of white dust with few structures on it. The lair itself is the city of Zoragmalak, you said that. A circular fortress surrounded by... Okay, we've read this part, so let's go lair actions specifically.
Yeah.
On initiative count of 20, which is all lair actions pretty much, Frazurbluu can take a lair action to cause one of the following effects. He drops his weights on you. Just kidding. He can't use the same effect 2 rounds in a row. Frazurbluu causes up to 5 doors within the lair to become walls, and an equal number of doors to appear on walls where there weren't any. So
I'm picturing all his like layer effects, all his illusions is like he just flexes and then something happens. So he flexes and suddenly these walls appear. But continue. I'm listening.
He's fucking rolling weights down the stairs at you.
It's hilarious. Okay. Continue. I'm sorry.
You're on his Nordic track and you don't realize that while you're running through the lair. Okay, right. Okay. Frazurbluu chooses one humanoid within the lair and instantly creates a simulacrum of that creature. Simulacrum of that creature, as if created with the simulacrum spell. This simulacrum obeys Frazurblуу's commands and is destroyed on the next initiative count of 20. So he makes a fucking clone of someone in your party.
Does it have your sim abilities? Or is it according to a spell?
We would have to look up simulacrum spell.
Okay, keep reading. I'll look that up while you're doing that.
Okay, cool. Well, that was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one? Yeah. Okay, well, you can start on the stat block. I'm going to look that spell up real quick.
Okay, cool. So Fraz-urb'luu is a large fiend, demon, chaotic evil with an armor class of 18 natural armor, big beefy hit points of 337, speed of 40 feet, and fly speed of 40 feet. That's right, because he has wings in this version. I bet they're very muscular, like somebody's
They
traps.
are rather bulky looking wings.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So he's doing like arm presses and wing presses.
All right, I pulled up the spell. Do we want to hear it? Okay. So you shape an illusory duplicate of one beast or humanoid that is within range for the entire casting time of the spell. The duplicate is a creature, partially real and formed from ice or snow, and it can take actions and otherwise be affected as a normal creature. It appears to be the same as the original, but it has half the creature's hit point maximum and is formed without any of the equipment the character has.
Okay.
Otherwise, the illusion uses all the statistics of the creature it duplicates.
Okay. So the big giveaway is that it doesn't have the like barbarian's weapons on.
The big giveaway is fucking naked.
Oh yeah, no equipment. It's butt ass naked.
It's butt ass naked. Can you imagine having to fight a naked version of yourself?
Or like you get separated. Can you imagine separating one person from the rest of the party, making the simulacrum, and then being like try to horny bard them into. That's separate the horny bard and punish everyone. Punish everyone for that horny bard.
That's hilarious.
That horny bard's bad ways.
So yeah, cool.
Okay, so back to so we have the 40 feet of movement and fly. Strength is 29, Dex is 12, Con is 25, Intelligence is 26, Wisdom 24, Charisma 26.
So he really is buff.
He's super buff.
29. It doesn't get much higher than 29.
He's not doing any agility exercises.
No, he's not.
+1 Dex for a monster like this? I mean, yeah.
He's swole as fuck.
He's just so fucking swole. He can't move good.
Why is the Demon Prince of Illusion so swole?
He just has to stand there, be buff, not get moved around, and make illusion magic. He's a power of the mind guy and a power of the body guy, but not a power of the flexibility.
No.
Saving throws. Dex +8. Okay, there you go. That kind of takes care of that a little bit. But Con +14, Intelligence +15, Wisdom +14. Okay. Skills, Deception +15, Perception +14, and Stealth +8. He has damage resistance to cold, fire, lightning, and immunities to poison, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. That is non-magical. Conditioned immunities, he cannot be charmed, exhausted, frightened, or poisoned. Standard stuff, right?
Yeah, all standard.
True sight, 120. Don't go
telepathy,
invisible.
all languages, all that jazz.
So not only is he creating the lies, but he can see through your lies.
Yes, it's very true.
All languages with telepathy of 120 feet. He's a challenge rating 23. Does that sound about accurate to you?
I mean,
I know we always have discrepancies.
When it comes to these challenge ratings, it's difficult because some of the abilities, like, really, to me, seem to fuck with it. Yeah, but 23 is really low. I think he's like the weakest or one of the weakest Demonlords we've talked about.
Okay. So he's got innate spellcasting. The ability is Charisma. Spell save DC 23 is pretty high. You can innately cast Alter Self, and 3 times a day. You can do Confusion, Dream, Mislead, Programmed Illusion, Seeming.
Yeah, and then a lot of illusory stuff.
Mirage, Arcane, Modify, Memory, Project Image once a day. Legendary Resistance. If Fraz-urb'luu fails a saving throw, he can choose to succeed, which is dope. Magic Resistance. Advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Magic Weapon. His weapon attacks are magical, so he doesn't need a magic weapon. He is the magic weapon.
Indeed.
Undetectable. Fraz-urb'luu can't be targeted by divination magic, perceived through magical scrying sensors, or detected by abilities that sense demons or fiends. He is the safe house.
Yeah, well, okay. I should have mentioned this in my notes. Like, ever since being summoned, he's taken like extra steps to never be able to be summoned again.
That's dope.
I think he's even gone as far as to bind his soul so that if he ever is, like, if his defenses are ever overwhelmed and he is getting pulled out of his plane, his soul will transfer somewhere else so he won't get pulled.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't put that in there because I knew it, but there it is.
You got it. Nailed it.
It's in the episode now.
My theory, my homebrew theory is that he's sacrificing his dex points for other cool stuff.
Yeah, there we go. I mean,
he's trading dexterity for the ability to not be
good
scribed.
pecs and abs. All right.
So he's got a multi-attack. So make 3 attacks, 1 with his bite, 2 with his fist. The bite is plus 16 to hit, 10-foot reach, 1 target, 3d6 plus 9 or 19 piercing damage. The fist is plus 16 to hit, 10-foot reach, 1 target, 22 damage or 3d8 plus 9 bludgeoning damage.
Very strong fist.
He's biting and punching you with his buff body and his sharp teeth.
I'm the Demonlord of Illusion.
I've got a big mouth and big biceps. Punch, punch.
Continue.
Legendary actions. He can take 3 of them, choosing from the options below, which are melee weapon attack, plus 16 to hit, 15-foot reach, 1 target. This is with his tail. So the hit is 2d10 plus 9 bludgeoning damage. If the target is large or smaller creature, it's also grappled by the tail. Is his tail like spiky or something?
I don't remember it being particularly spiky,
maybe
but maybe
hitting
it's
you with the tail and like wrapping you up in it.
Yeah,
or something.
Exactly.
The grappled target is also restrained. Fraz-urb'luu can grapple only 1 creature with his tail at a time. And then Phantasmal Killer, which costs 2 actions, as he can do cast Phantasmal Killer, no concentration required.
Nice.
Which that's a limiter removal. Fucking cool. I don't know what that spell does, but Phantasmal Killer sounds bad.
It certainly does. Is that the whole stat block? Did you finish?
I got it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hell
it.
yeah. All right. Sounds good.
We're not going to read Phantasmal Killer this time.
No, we're not.
It's too close to the end of the episode.
It is, and we are going to get ready for our long rest.
Let's do get ready for the long rest thing where we stop recording and start recording.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, man. These slippies seem kind of... Wait, I'm not wearing slippies. Where are my slippies? Oh, some buff guy stole them.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Getting ready for bedtime.
Indeed we are.
And that's not a lie.
No, it is not a lie. As a matter of
buff.
fact, we are getting ready for a long rest.
Yeah.
Well, we are at a long rest.
We're in a long rest.
We are long resting.
We're about to.
Yeah.
We long rest after we hang up.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're getting ready for bedtime, and then we're going to have a long rest.
The long rest is actually more like a week long, because then the next episode shows up.
Dude, we need...
a lot of rest.
A lot of rest.
With all this damn research.
Okay, so...
Contest?
The contest.
We have a contest going.
You can win an Essentials D&D Essentials kit.
Indeed.
Something. It's a D&D Essentials kit.
Yes.
Dude, it comes with like...
We're giving away 3, in fact.
Yeah, we're giving away 3 of them to 3 different people.
Yes.
It comes with like character sheets and like magic item cards and something called sidekicks and like
it's basically the D&D starter set, but like umped up and better.
Buffed.
It's like you shouldn't get the D&D starter set anymore. Probably you should get the D&D Essentials kit, and we're giving away 3. And if you want to win 3, if you want to get your friends into D&D, or maybe you want to buy the Essentials kit for someone you know who wants it, maybe you don't have to buy it. You can win it from us. And the way you do that is by tweeting a link to our show to your followers with hashtag Dungeoncast. If you do that, I'll add you to the list. And I believe there's a way to also enter yourself in the contest on Instagram.
There
is that
is,
right?
Yeah.
Tell them about that.
There's a post on Instagram about the contest, especially basically a picture of the Essentials kit. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is go to the well, first you got to be following. You need to be following us on the social media platform you're entering on, or it's a void. But follow us. Then go to that post and leave a comment. Tell us your favorite Dungeoncast episode.
Oh, nice.
And then tag 2 people. Any 2 people.
And that's how you enter there?
That's how you enter there.
And we will be announcing the 3 winners on June 7th, which also happens to be my birthday.
Happy birthday, Will.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody. And the point is to
share
help
the
you
show.
guys spread the word about the show and give you some incentive to do so, because the best thing you can do for us is to tell people about us.
Indeed, it helps a lot.
Yeah, so we want to give back, and in this time of craziness and pandemic, maybe a lot of people are looking to get into D&D. If you have an Essentials kit, it's real easy to just boot up like Roll20 or Zoom after that and get going, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I think we can call it a game.
Let's call it a game.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.